This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well. I've been walking around a lot.
You've been walking around a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we're in the same room again this week, by the way. It should be noted.
Oh, everybody's breathing a sigh of relief.
Phew, they're finally back in the same room.
I'm sitting down again. It's probably because of all this
you
walking
said you were
I've been
walking
doing.
around.
Well, I'm not walking at the moment.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
should we start doing this on treadmills?
So we're just like always a little bit out of breath.
Are you out of breath when you're walking?
If we're talking a lot and we're walking a lot, it depends on how fast we're walking
Okay,
on
well,
these treadmills.
Yeah, well, fast. Very, very fast.
Yeah,
I like to go so fast that we can barely breathe.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we're constantly at the edge of falling over and getting very hurt.
Yeah. That would be... Should we start? Like,
Why would that
well,
be?
I want to be one of these guys.
Hey, do you like this show, but you wish the whole time in the background you heard...
Is that what?
That's like what a treadmill sounds like.
No, it's not.
This one's squeaky.
We could get oil for it, Tom. We'll stock up on
Well,
all
that's
the
your
oil.
answer for everything.
It is, and it's usually right. Wouldn't be the answer. It wouldn't be my answer if it didn't always
it's
work.
True.
I want to be one of these guys that rides a stationary bike while watching TV at night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like while you're taking high-powered meetings with like a
Nah.
Bluetooth headset in.
No, but like I sit down and watch my programs, watch
Yeah.
Lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 42 minutes on the bike while I'm
Yeah.
watching Lost.
But
while
here's
I'm
the
watching
thing.
Hurley run around the island.
The Curly's in that show
No,
now?
Hurley from
Oh,
the
okay.
Weezer album.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I thought you were saying Curly from the Three Stooges.
He's not on the. Or I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
that'd be
Oh,
quite an
boy,
episode.
they
Jack's
really
like,
never-
oh no, I saw Curly.
That's what he's. He comes back to everybody. You wouldn't believe what I saw in the jungle. I saw Curly from the Three
Yeah, and
Stooges.
Sawyer had already seen him, but he was like, for some reason, playing it close to the vest.
He was black and white, like on the
Man.
on the old Three Stooges shorts.
Man, that would have been awesome.
What a rule!
I bet if they thought of that, they would have put it in. It would have fit the vibe of the show.
Yeah, somebody just go through.
J.J. Abrams would have been like, yeah, put Curly in there, make him black and white, and figure out the explanation. I'm going to go
Yeah,
make some movies or something.
Somebody's going through the woods. They're trying to find like a source of water or something. And they hear, and they see Curly. He's got a washboard. He's washing like his bathing
Yeah.
suit.
In the river. Yeah.
Nice and clean.
Chilling. A chilling episode of television.
And they would cut to commercial with that.
If we go,
Yeah.
those trombones on the Lost soundtrack.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
More trombones and everything.
Yeah, more trombones going.
Yeah. Hey, find a way to make trombones scary. The folks at Lost did.
Yeah.
What's keeping you from doing it?
Who are we talking about now?
People making trombone
Yeah.
music.
Hey.
Because you don't think of trombone as like a scary instrument.
Oh, you don't.
I do now.
Thanks to Lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Picture, 76 trombones, Tom, all at once.
Uh-huh.
Beat the
Oh,
shit
yeah.
out of
That
you,
would
yeah.
be. Yeah, that would be terrifying. I was gonna say, you think that'd be enough to break a glass? But I guess they'd all have to be tuned properly to the frequency of the glass.
Oh, with just sound?
Yeah, like an opera singer can break a glass. I saw this video of a guy that taught himself how to do it. And
Yeah.
he was doing it.
What do? You find out the frequency that the glass resonates at, and you just blast it with that frequency?
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of a lot of trial and error and just getting real close to it, going like, just, one constant note.
Yeah.
And it seems like also a big part of it is like, you'll find it, but then being able to stay there and get loud enough.
I feel like late 80s, early 90s, there was a lot of, it was big in the culture. It was big in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, right? It was like all the time. You were not hearing about it, but you were seeing it in things.
You know what? I think it was just on, like, in, like, children's programming. I bet, like, still, like, if you asked, if you asked an 11-year-old right now, they'd be like, this is the golden age of people breaking glasses by singing a really high note.
I don't know. It's a good question.
It is. We should get an 11-year-old's perspective.
Yeah.
Tom.
Or should we like ask our parents if like when they were our age, if they thought like, boy, there sure is a lot of TV lately showing people singing so loud they break glasses.
I feel like if I asked my parents that, they'd get angry. I don't know why. You ever just ask an innocuous question of somebody
usually
of that generation, and they're like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, because it's if you're asking him something, this happens with my mom sometimes if it's like, I don't know, something about like a computer or whatever. Like if I ask too specific of a question, it's like I get the like, forget I said anything then.
Tom, I was walking down the street the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the corner. I was bringing my son to the bookstore, buying a book for Books the Podcast, Tom.
Oh, okay. It's kind of bullshit. You're having him read the books now.
He's better. He explains it to me in a way that I can understand.
Yeah, he explains it to you like you're 3.
Yeah. And again, and there's this like probably like an 11 or 12-year-old standing at the corner, a young gentleman, like looking really nervous, and he's like, excuse me, and I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I'm lost.
Oh man.
And it's like, oh man, like
tough break. Well, see you later.
Yeah, and he's like, Can I use your phone? And right away I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Oh,
and I thought he wanted to look it up. He was going to a friend's house. Forgot his phone at home. Didn't like know how to get there. And and this is New York City. It's the mean streets.
Yeah.
So he's like, I know my dad's phone number. I'll call my dad. So he calls his dad. And this was the middle of the day on like a Tuesday. So his dad was not happy to hear from him. And like this poor kid was like, I'm sorry. I left it at home. She's at Pilates. I can't call her. And I was like, I'm starting to get a sense of this kid's home life. Like he's getting berated. And he's just like, no, it's because I'm lost. Can you just tell me the address of like Jacob's house or whatever? And like this dad on the other end of the phone was like just being like real mean to him. And it's like, your son is lost on a stranger's phone. Can you just tell him the fucking address? And
so, then, long story short, he's your son now.
Well, it's the thing, Tom. I was like, should I adopt him? No. He was like, I was like, yeah, I'm using someone's phone. And he's like, what's your name? That's like Tim. He's like,
some
Tim.
old doof.
And then like he like got the address a few minutes later, and I put it into my phone and showed him on the map like the way to go. I was like, do you need someone to walk you? Do you need me to walk you there? It's like, it's like, nah,
it's like, all right, beat it, creep.
But if that happened, and then I went on my way. If that happened to you, what would your next thought be as you're like walking to the bookstore?
I'm a hero. Look at me.
It wouldn't be like, shit, like, is this dad gonna call me up now and be like,
my son's missing?
Yeah, like, does this kid make it to its destination? If not, like,
boy, then
and like,
you're
I have
in deep
all
trouble.
I have all these things, just trying to help out a lost child.
Yeah, I didn't. That isn't the first thing I thought about when you said that, but now that, and I was gonna make fun of you for like, you're always worried about everything. But after you said, I was like, yeah, I mean the chances are small, but also it's like, boy, if he did get like abducted, you'd have to just be like, all right, I guess give me the chair. Why even?
I understand why you guys think this. Why would he be on my phone? Like, I get it. And, like, what I did was, like, I'm going to the bookstore. Hopefully they have security cameras there. And they'll see, like, okay, the timestamp on the phone that I was at the bookstore 5 minutes later without this kid.
Did you, pretend to like get caught on a corner, like, I'm bleeding. Just bleed. There's DNA here now. They can prove
but like I very like I made a point to like interact with the cashier because like I was with.
You can't go too far, Tim. They look back at the tape and they're like, "Look at this nervous guy looking at all the cameras."
No. Just no. I don't even know if there were cameras in there. I hope there were cameras in there.
Tim, all right. Now you're realizing the cops are probably listening to the podcast.
In case there were no cameras there, I was like, oh, like I will just like they were asking, like somebody asked if I needed help finding something,
right.
So I was like. Yeah, let's ask and like let's let them
do you
direct
sell
me.
Pineapples? And then they'd remember like
I like asked and then like
what's
my
what's
son
the best
with them.
book you sell?
No, I told you, Tom. I was in there looking for a book.
Yeah, and I assume that's what you did. You went in and you said, "What's the best book you sell?"
And hoped that it was the one I was looking that I went there to purchase.
No, just and that's they gave you a book and that's what we're.
It wasn't on the shelf, Tom. I had to go to a second bookstore. 2 bookstores
Interesting.
in one day.
It sounds like you're trying to establish 2 alibis to me.
I don't like your attitude here.
Well, Tim, I'm just telling you, I'm in this context. I'm serving as your lawyer and just telling you how the cops are going to think.
Tom, this does show that you're a bad friend.
Why?
Because like you agreed with me that like it's a concern.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to implicate me. It was like the time, Tom, when we were roommates.
Well, because I don't want to get implicated.
Do you remember when we were roommates and we were moving from one apartment to another apartment and we rented a U-Haul, and then when we went to return it, they tried to double charge us, and I was arguing with the guy at the U-Haul, and I wanted you to come back me up. And you were just like, nah, and you just walked outside.
This is years ago. This
but that's when I realized
do with it.
Tom doesn't have my back, not a true friend. And still here.
Tom's got your back, but Tom looks out for number 1.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Timmy, keep that in mind that I'm number 1, and, maybe eventually I will be there for you. But you got to scratch my back before I scratch yours. It's give and take. Tim, this week we're talking about...
You never paid me the money. We did wind up getting double charged, and it was on my card, and you never paid me for it.
Yeah, I probably would have been able to argue the guy out of it. Probably why I refused to pay. Do you want me to pay? Do you know how much I owe you?
It was probably like $150.
Oh, $150? Oh, probably. I want to see a receipt. Tim, this week we're talking about... we're not bringing up old grudges. We're talking about a
guy who will always have your back. A guy better than you, Tom.
I mean, it's a low bar.
Yeah, better than everybody.
Michael Keaton, the actor.
Yeah.
Or, as he would like to now be known, Michael Keaton Douglas.
Is that what he has asked?
Apparently, there was an interview where he said, so Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas.
Right.
Keaton was picked out of a phone book.
Right.
Like, according to him, he went down K's.
And to our younger listeners, a phone book is, sorry.
Something you sit on if you're too short to reach the table.
Yeah, like a freaking granny.
He said he just, opened up a phone book and was like, Keaton, all right, that sounds good. Because Michael Douglas, the actor, was already out there acting.
Yeah.
And Mike Douglas, the TV show host, was already doing a TV show.
Yeah, but Michael Douglas was fine being like...
But Michael Douglas had already done it.
Yeah, but why not Mickey Douglas?
I think he didn't want to be Mickey Douglas.
What about Big Mike Douglas?
Yeah, I bet you probably could go by Big Mike Douglas.
Yeah.
I think...
SAG. Sorry, SAG. Sorry, Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
Because she's the president.
Yeah.
I was like, because she's the nanny? Like, was she the big nanny or something? Anyway...
I've never even seen 1 minute of The Nanny.
Yeah, you have.
I haven't.
You've heard her laugh.
In other things.
So anyway, he couldn't be Michael Douglas or Mike Douglas, so he picked Michael Keaton. He intended it to be like a short like, eventually I'll figure this out, but like I'm signing up for SAG right now and I need a name.
Mm-hmm.
So he did one interview where he said, yeah, I want to start being called Michael Keaton Douglas now. That's my name after all. Like, it's kind of weird. Keaton's not my last name.
Yeah, but
But then he
you
said
think, like,
he meant to
50 years later, you're going to be like, it is weird, isn't it? It's like,
well, so listen to this. So he directed a movie recently, Knox Goes Away, which I haven't seen, but it's like right up my alley, about like a hitman.
Yeah. Did you read that New York Times profile of him?
No. Michael Keaton Douglas you're talking about?
Yeah,
now?
it did mention that he wants to be called that now, by the way.
Well, I'll get to.
And I think it published today, so.
Well, I'll get to that because he said in this interview, when I made that movie, I wanted them to credit me as Michael Keaton Douglas, but I forgot. And then by the time I remembered, it was too late to make new credits. But then I watched a video with him today because he's out there doing press for Beetlejuice. He did one of those Wired autocomplete interviews.
I've never watched one of those. They don't appeal to me.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a format to ask questions. Like the premise is that the guest has just like a big piece of foam board, and it'll say like, "Why does Michael Keaton?" And then there's white tape that Michael Keaton will pull.
It's like a Google search.
Yeah, it's the top Google searches, but it's not because they never ask about feet or anything like that.
Every time you turn off these Wired videos, like, you didn't ask about goddamn feet again.
I know what the first question people ask is.
And I need to know the answer.
But in the beginning of that video, he's like, "Hi, I'm Michael Keaton, Michael Douglas Keaton. I'm also known as," or something like that. But I was like, wait a minute, is it Keaton Douglas or Douglas Keaton? It sounds like you aren't really. It sounds like this is an idea maybe you had this week while you're out there doing press.
Yeah. He's allowed to have ideas, Tom. He's an ideas man.
He's also said that he feels so badly for Diane Keaton because she's been asked a million times, like, "Oh, are you related?"
Does he also feel bad for Alex P. Keaton?
I have that in my notes, Tim.
That he feels bad for Alex P. Keaton?
No, but just that always confused me as a kid. That there was a Michael Keaton and an Alex P. Keaton.
Mr. Mom and Alex P. Keaton, my favorite teenage Republican.
Yeah, exactly.
Are not related.
Yeah, and you got Mr. Mom, you got Doc Hollywood.
Yeah, you got Life with Mikey.
Yeah.
It's just another Michael J. Fox. Have Michael J. Fox and Michael Keaton ever worked together?
I don't think so. But I was...
Somebody fire up the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, the Oracle of Bacon. But does the Oracle of Bacon still exist?
Oh, like the webs? Was that like a website?
Yeah.
Probably, or at least like an archive version or something. But then that got me wondering if Tom Hanks... what Tom Hanks's character's name in Family Ties was, and it was Ned Donnelly. So he was
Uncle Ned.
Oh yeah, he was the mom's brother. Just so you know.
Okay, thank you,
Tim. Next fact I want to tell you about Michael Keaton. He dated Courtney Cox for 6 years.
In that,
Are you just looking up things on the Kevin Bacon?
Yeah,
thing?
I'm on the oracleofbacon.org.
Yeah.
Tom.
Uh-huh.
Michael J. Fox was in the Comedy Central roast of Dennis Leary with Conan O'Brien, who is in Clear History, a movie I rewatched the other day.
Oh, okay. That's on my
Michael
list to
Keaton.
talk about later.
Yeah.
Huh.
Clear History. What a weird movie that was, huh?
Yeah. I never saw it. We'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
Tim, Jesus, I'm starting to...
You're talking about Courtney Cox, and I'm...
Well, I don't even really have anything to say about that. I want to talk about his
what
early
is the
career.
age gap?
Oh,
Probably not that big, huh?
Probably like teens to 20 years, but like, they were dating when she was probably late 20s, early 30s, and he was 40s, I'm guessing.
Okay. I'll find out.
I want to talk about his early career, Tim. Say just you Googling things all day. You know, you should start watching some of these wired autocomplete.
You should start sticking up for your friends when they're when they're getting hosed by a U-Haul guy.
Did you want me to beat him up? Did you want me to like slap him or something?
No, I just wanted some backup.
You
there. Walking
if
out. No, you literally.
Physical.
I was like, "Hey, Tom," and like you literally like put headphones in and walked out the door. You were watching an Apple keynote.
Yeah,
on your phone.
I had something to watch. Anyway,
Michael Keaton is 12 years older than Courtney Cox.
Yeah, it's nothing. Tim is
12 years and 9 months, so almost 13 years.
Do you know where Michael Keaton got his start? His first job in the entertainment business?
I do. Do you?
I do. That's why I'm asking you.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah, he was a PA for the PBS station.
Because he was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that where they made a few things, but probably the claim to fame there was they shot Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I watch. I don't watch. My son watches Daniel Tiger. I watch it with him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is a spin-off, which I thought was sacrilege. It's a good show.
Okay.
And then they have these segments with real kids, and they're all in Pittsburgh. It's cool as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. He worked there, and he said that Mr. Fred Rogers was a nice guy.
Cool.
And he said he liked to
Insightful.
He said he liked to make him laugh. But also that like Fred Rogers knew like he wanted to be in entertainment, so he did play Black and White Panda on the show. I like he was in a costume, I think. But yeah, he's still on the show.
He played Black and White Curly on Lost.
Well, he almost played Jack on Lost.
He was going to be...
Which we'll get to as well.
Will we get to all of this? Or are you just going to keep talking about...
Tim, all this is coming up in hour 3. They was a stand-up. A lot of people don't know that he was a stand-up comedian.
Right.
Although,
stand-up guy.
You know what I like about him that I appreciate watching a couple of interviews with him this week?
What's that, Tom?
Is when people bring up stuff like, hey, you worked on Mr. Rogers. Hey, you used to be a stand-up. He's very like not necessarily self-deprecating about it, but is like very like normal about it. Like he doesn't have like when the Fred Rogers thing is brought up, he's not like one day he took me aside and he told me, like he doesn't have like a story like that. And same thing with like
nice guy.
Yeah. And same thing with being a stand-up. He was like, oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. He was like I didn't know how to get work. And stand-up you can write your own material, you can make your own stuff. So like I was doing that and like, yeah, I loved it, but like I don't consider myself like that's its whole thing unto itself. But he was like on TV. I don't think he ever had like his own special or anything, but this was during like the cable comedy, stand-up comedy heyday, right?
Yeah, he did his famous liar character that was stolen by John Lovitz.
Well, yeah, what's the story behind that?
It was just part of his act, and it was like televised at some point. Yeah. You can watch it on an old archive, whatever. And it's like him being like, that's the ticket, and like literally the lines. I learned about that, Tom. We talked about it on Books the podcast last week. But I Googled it. That when I had originally learned about it, it was on Norm Macdonald's like YouTube show. Michael Keaton was on, and like Norm Macdonald was like, "So John Lovitz stole the lyre," and like Michael Keaton was like, "Yeah, nobody else has ever asked me about that, but like." Yes, he did steal that from me. Isn't that weird? And the two of them were just like, yeah, what a weird thing to do. And
like Norm Macdonald knew John Lovitz, obviously.
Yeah, but like Norm Macdonald was like, yeah, I saw that on TV. It's not like this was like an obscure thing that he stole from, like went to a club and was like, I'm going to steal this guy's bit and put it on Saturday Night Live. Is there a fire in this building?
Based on how honest his answers were when people were asking him about like genuinely interesting things like Mr. Rogers and him doing stand up, the fact that he seemed to be like, yeah, he did steal from me really convinces me that that's 100% accurate.
He seems to be a real guy, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, not real enough to come on this show and answer.
Well,
our questions.
we didn't ask him, Tim, to be completely fair to him.
You should have known. This movie's coming out. We should be part of the circuit.
I was reading about his like kind of like his come up, which is interesting. Like he was on like a bunch of shows. He was on the Tony Randall show. Mm-hmm. He was on Maude.
Yeah, your favorite show.
Things like that.
You're a big B. Arthur guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I didn't realize. So Maude was 141 episodes, Tim. Rue McClanahan's in 115 of them. She's almost Maude herself, if you ask me.
I think she played Claude.
His next big break was working alongside Jim Belushi in a short-lived comedy series, Working Stiffs, which showcased his comedic talents and led to a co-starring role in the comedy Night Shift, directed by Ron Howard. This was his breakout role as fast-talking schemer Billy Blazejowski, and earned Keaton some critical acclaim. Tim, you know about this movie Late Shift?
Night Shift?
Night Shift. No. Yes. Night Shift.
I know the Late Shift.
Do you know this movie Night Shift?
That's the HBO movie. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I was thinking the other day I should watch Night Shift.
Do you know what the premise is?
Yeah, a mild-mannered morgue attendant is assigned to the night shift, and his new coworker, along with his prostitute neighbor, convince him of running a prostitution ring out of the morgue.
And his friend is Henry Winkler, and the neighbor is Shelley Long.
Yeah.
That's quite a cast.
Star-studded.
I watched the trailer for it. It was a very bizarre trailer because it was a
You got Mr. Mom, you got Cheers, and you got the Fonz all in one,
yeah.
all in one movie.
And this is before he was Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
But the trailer, it like the first 90 seconds of it are like a good, it's very 80s, but it's like, it's a good trailer. And then like the next 90 seconds just kind of like recap the movie. It's very weird. I didn't understand. Like after 90 seconds, I was like, cool, I'm in. And then next 90 seconds, I was like, oh, I think I saw the good parts now. All right. He tried to transition to dramatic roles as early as 1984. He played a hockey player in a movie called Touch and Go, which was shelved for 2 years. Woody Allen cast him as the lead in The Purple Rose of Cairo the following year, but after filming began, Allen felt Keaton was too modern and reshot his scenes with Jeff Daniels, not a modern man. Jeff Daniels is a caveman, further delaying his transition to drama in the public eye. And when Touch and Go was finally ready to be released, the studio was unsure how to market the movie, making the poster, trailer, and TV spots similar to Mr. Mom, which resulted in the movie not doing well.
You missed a landmark in between Mr. Mom and Touch and Go. Johnny Dangerously.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's a movie. A 1930s spoof.
Yeah. Yeah, another like kind of... He has a lot of weird movies in his career.
He's got like a lot of weird movies. He's got a lot of bad movies.
Yeah. But people, that has like a cult following, I feel like. Johnny Dangerously.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched a trailer for that too, and it was like, oh yeah, it seems like it's up my alley. It seems like a Roger
you'd love
Rabbit.
that movie. It's like it's goofier than that.
Yeah, but it's like a 30s like Hollywood detective noir type thing, right?
Yeah, but I believe...
But it's like a spoof, obviously.
Yeah, like the theme song is Weird Al's This Is the Life. He wrote it for that movie. Yeah.
Let me check out this movie.
Tom, it's a movie where Weird Al wrote the theme song.
Yeah.
And you're just like, nah, maybe I'll see it.
I mean, I saw Spy Hard. I should see this.
Exactly.
All right, Tim, let's, we talked about his early career. Let's talk about when he blew the heck up.
When do you think he blew the heck up?
I'm saying, well, specifically, I'm talking about 1988 when he is cast as both Beetlejuice and Batman.
Right.
And then those movies come out in 88 and 89, both Tim Burton joints. But at that point, he was famously, at least in Batman, apparently was known as Mr. Mom. And fans were upset that he was Batman. They said, Mr. Mom can't be Batman.
Right. You ever watch Mr. Mom?
I have not. I've definitely seen at least parts of it, but not in a very long time.
It is wild.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine a man knew anything about raising a child.
Again, I watched the trailer, and I was struck immediately by how it's like he's portrayed as like the pinnacle of masculinity. When it's like, hey, it just seems like a normal guy. It seems like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it's like jokes about like drinking and like, I don't know, like playing sports and stuff. And it's like, this guy looks like a normal guy. I mean, he's
like normal guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Drink and play sports stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
But like, it's like, isn't it so
He just looks
emasculating
young.
that
Yeah.
like his wife has a job?
Yeah, because he gets laid off, but she has like a very good job. So she becomes the breadwinner and he stays at home.
Yeah, and everybody's like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a like a subplot where I don't know, he thinks Richard Moll's gonna fuck his wife or something.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I saw it when I was a kid.
Because that's what it was in the trailer I saw, where it was like he was kind of
Martin Mull.
Martin Mull,
Not Richard Mall, Night Court's bull.
yeah, Martin Mull.
I told you one time I thought I sat next to Martin Mull on a plane.
Yeah,
It was a different guy, though.
Yeah, you just wish you were sitting next to Tim. You sent me a thing today to tell me that he almost played Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
No, not Martin Mull.
Who was it then?
Richard Mulligan.
Wait, who's Richard Mulligan?
The guy from freaking Empty Nest.
Right. Tim, I can't keep up with all your deceased 80s sitcom actors.
Martin Mull is only recently deceased.
I know, but still. Even that, I feel like you're mad that I don't know it was or that I didn't mention it was recent. I just never know enough about these guys for you. But anyway, I mean, you wouldn't argue with me that like Beetlejuice and Batman are the two roles he is the most known for.
I think you're right. I wouldn't argue with you, Tom.
Okay,
as much as
thank God.
I'd love to take you down a peg.
I not recently, it was probably a few years ago now, but watched Beetlejuice, the first Beetlejuice, and it held up great. Still very good. Still very funny, weird.
I'm going to watch it again this weekend, Tom, and then I'm going to go see the new Beetlejuice.
Wow. You're going to see it this weekend, the new Beetlejuice?
That's my plan. I don't think I'll actually get there, but
You're probably going to why don't you watch the first Beetlejuice, pretend it's the second one?
because the second one's a different film, I think.
Yeah.
I know you're like, oh yeah, I'm boycotting the new Beetlejuice because Jeffrey Jones isn't in it. Justice for Jeffrey Jones is what you're
I
always
was
saying.
trying to figure out, as you were starting, I was like, what could he even claim that I'm boycotting this movie over? But you're 100% right. Where's Jeffrey Jones? Bring him back in the cast. Catherine O'Hara is back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis are not in the film.
As far as we know.
Oh, have you heard otherwise?
No.
Oh.
As far as we know.
No, I think I saw somewhere in an interview where they asked Tim Burton, and he was just like, I never even asked. Like, it just didn't fit for this movie or whatever. Yeah, because they die at the end, and they're like off in the after.
Beetlejuice is dead. There's so many. They die in the beginning.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of implied like they moved on. They had a happy ending. They moved on to the afterlife. Right. Where like Beetlejuice is in this purgatory, like the ghosts are, like if you're a ghost on Earth, that's a type of purgatory.
Right. Okay.
So it should make sense that they go off to heaven. But you can go to heaven in a movie they did in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And they did it in Defending Your Life, the whole movie, pretty much.
It's a good movie.
Defending Your Life?
Yeah.
Yeah, a classic. But anyway, Beetlejuice. I think I'd like to see this Beetlejuice.
You know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
Spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this was in the Times profile. Michael Keaton's like, yeah, I'll do it when he was asked.
But I want a lot of money.
No, he's like, he's basically in the first movie for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it's like 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
even.
I think they claim it's 17 minutes, but that's erroneous. It's like closer to 20.
But the point being that the movie Beetlejuice is not in it a lot.
Yeah, and like Michael Keaton was like, Tim Burton's like, are you going to do this? And he's like, yeah, but like the only way I'm going to do it is if like character works because like you
Small
withhold him
doses.
so much. Yeah. And like he's like, so I'm not going to do it. And like Tim Burton's like, way ahead of you, man. Like, of course.
Oh, okay.
So now so he's not in it at all in this movie.
Wow. Okay.
They took it to the extreme.
Wow. Well, that I might argue is too much.
We'll see.
I'd like to see Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice at least a little bit.
We'll see. I mean, his name's in the title twice, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain. Yeah. You go back to ask for a refund, they're going to say, let me see the ticket again. Yeah, he's here twice. Look. Yeah, that makes sense, especially because like that's such a big part of the character that it's like you say his name 3 times and he appears. So like you don't want him to appear. If he's on the screen 90% of the time, you're not getting that feeling. I watched I think that this is one of those movies they put up like a 5-minute clip. And I was like, I'm not going to watch that, especially if that's like a third of his performance. Like, I'm not going to watch that. I want to see the movie. But I watched a little of it. I watched the trailers. And the one thing is, I think, like, he looks exactly the same because he's supposed to be dead. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have the same energy because now he's an older man.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That's one man's opinion.
I would have liked to have seen, like, a little more... like I like the manic Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, Tom, you're passing judgment too early.
Before I've even seen it. Maybe I should at least watch this 5-minute clip.
Maybe you should pull your head out of your goddamn ass for one time.
Anything else about Beetlejuice?
They were originally going to make a sequel back then called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Oh yeah. That's like one of those movies that there was like a script floating around.
Yeah,
for years.
I think it was like it almost got made, and
like
there
it was
like
online. You could read it.
Yeah, and then there was like turnover at the studio, and they're like, "Wait, what? No, you shouldn't do this." And then I think everybody's like, "Yeah, actually, that is a really bad idea."
I mean, it's a great premise. Just like
him going Hawaiian.
Yeah, just Beetlejuice.
I like you mentioned
movies
Bill
where people go Hawaiian.
You mentioned Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I like a sequel
that
where
just
it's just like
throws everything out.
Yeah, it's like, all right, this is going to be a whole different thing.
I was gonna say I guess it wasn't really, but like Wayne's World 2.
No, Wayne's World 2 is the same movie.
But that was
Wayne's
like, it followed the exact same beats.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed when I saw that Beetlejuice was like, it's, the daughter of Winona Ryder.
And
it's in that house. It's like, oh, I kind of wanted to see this guy go Hawaiian.
Yeah, or just like thrown in a different situation altogether.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that makes me apprehensive. Like, I talked to you. I forget if I talked about it on the show at all, but like I saw Alien Romulus and I didn't like it at all. Mm-hmm. And part of it was just because there were so many like fan service things that took me out of the movie. And like fan service, of course, it's like always a real hard thing to walk the line on. But there's a difference between like, here's like something fans have always wondered. We're going to service them by showing this. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have a guy say a line from one of the other movies with no context. And I worry that the Beetlejuice movie, they're going to be like, he has to say it's showtime again, and a different character is going to say this line that Gina Davis said and all that kind of stuff.
Like, I don't know.
You just can't avoid it at this point.
My thing with Beetlejuice is like, I think it's a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
Like, there's, if this movie sucks, okay. I won't watch it again.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not like, oh, it did a disservice to the lore. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, not even that. I'm saying it's like doing a disservice.
It's just
that
not
it takes me out of it. And like, I would have said Alien Romulus was an okay movie if it wasn't for those things.
I think fandom. You know what? What was I? Oh man.
And I'm sure it's just this dangerous thing of like, you're on set and it's like, you know what? Let's do one take where you say, and then it's like,
that's all in the
then that
script.
goes
That's
in the
all
trailer.
In the script, Tom.
Yeah.
That's how you get the movie greenlit.
Yeah, or the producers on set saying, let's do a take where they say this.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like fans of anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've made that clear in the past.
But, like, I don't like when people are like, oh, this couple should be Endgame or whatever. It's like, why don't you just watch the thing and like it or don't like it? But don't be like, this is how this should play out. I'm rooting for this to happen.
I love you always give like things that you don't like, and then you give these examples that sound like you're in some like. It's like I don't know where you're picking up these things.
You've never heard
this
that
couple
in
is
fandom?
Endgame?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I've heard this couple is goals, but not this couple is
No,
Endgame.
it's like in a TV series.
Oh,
it's like when you're approaching. It's like
I see.
This is like everybody's like
Ross and Rachel have to get together at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, they're end game, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like everybody acts like they're sitting in the goddamn writer's room. You're just there to watch it and like it or don't like it, but don't be like, oh, this is how it should go.
Yeah,
that's not your role here.
Yeah, I mean,
don't get a job as a writer's assistant.
Yeah, I think there's a line between like speculating or like throwing out like, this would be fun, and then being like, here's what has to happen,
right?
Or else I'm gonna be so mad, at this fictional universe for existing. But
if Beetlejuice doesn't marry Winona Ryder, I'm gonna blow up the movie studio.
So that was 88 Beetlejuice. Next year, Batman. He's back. He's back with Timmy B doing Batman.
Yeah, a movie that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's aged like fantastically.
Is it like what? Is it real?
Yeah, it's real.
Okay,
Everything
it really happened.
All that
it's like a
stuff
true
happened.
story.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a true story. But yeah, I like, there have been so many superhero movies since, like that wouldn't have existed without the first Batman, of course. Do you remember, like as a kid, the summer that movie came out, like it just being insane?
Mm-hmm.
Kids
Everybody
getting,
had those Batman shirts,
and kids getting the Batman symbol buzzed into the back of their heads.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, it was insane. And I remember hearing, like, I think probably later, like once it was out on VHS, from my parents, maybe like, people were mad because he's Mr. Mom, and I was like, I don't know what any of that means.
What are you talking about?
He's Batman.
Shut up, Mom. I'm watching Batman.
Remember in the movie, he says, I'm Batman.
Was Vicky Vale in Mrs. Mom? Mr.
Vicky
Mom?
Vale was not in Mr. Mom.
That was your question for your mom. I don't know this Mr. Mom was.
Where do you think he ranks on actors who have played Batman?
Who do we got? We got Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
We got Val Kilmer.
Kilmer next.
We got Clooney.
George Clooney next.
Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the skinny man.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck, not the skinny man.
No.
And then the skinny man.
Robert Pattinson.
And
then
Christopher Reeve.
No, and then Michael Keaton again. and then George
not that we
Clooney
know.
again
Oh, in
in
Flash.
the Flash. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the canonically the most recent Batman is George Clooney on the silver screen. Apparently, Michael Keaton was offered $15 million to come back for Batman 3. But Tim Burton had left the project by that point, and Michael Keaton read the script and said, "Not for me. I don't like it," and he walked away.
That was cool. That was a cool thing he did.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like he had by that point made, I guess, 3 movies with Tim Burton, right? Or am I missing one? Maybe somewhere in there too.
No.
He's since made more, but
Just one, right?
Dumbo, yeah. But I think,
More like dumb movie.
it makes sense that, Beetlejuice was 88, Batman was 89, Batman Returns was 91, I think.
92.
91 I have in my notes.
Well, I got
Maybe
92,
they're wrong.
according
Maybe it's 92.
to the Internet
That makes
Movie
more
Database.
sense. That it's 92.
That I'm right.
Well, just the amount of time in between the movies.
What do you like better, Batman or Batman Returns?
I'm like a little partial Batman Returns, I think.
Batman Returns is like a better movie.
Yeah, it's just because it doesn't have the weight of having to set up Batman like the first movie does.
Danny DeVito
As
Penguin.
Yeah.
And then freaking Michelle Pfeiffer.
As Catwoman,
she made
yeah.
a neon sign that said hello there. She made it say hell here.
Yeah.
By breaking
It went from welcoming to downright terrifying. It just felt like Batman Returns was like kind of just firing on all cylinders. Like it was like a more confident movie. And it was a Christmas movie, which was a cool thing, like that they don't do. Maybe not. They still do as often, but not as well, I think.
Iron Man 3 was kind of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and that wasn't great.
Oh, that was my favorite of the Marvel
It had
movies.
some really good moments in it. But I feel like that was the last time like a big budget sequel was like, let's make this one happen during Christmas. Like, make it a Christmas movie? No, just make it happen during Christmas time.
Which is cool. Like,
yeah.
Christmas time is a cool time for things to happen.
Especially in Gotham City, Tim.
Or
It looked crazy.
Birth of our Lord and Savior.
Yeah. But it makes sense to me that he had made 3 movies with Tim Burton basically back to back. If he's like, he's not coming back because of scheduling and whatever. But I think it was the kind of thing of like scheduling after like multiple scripts had gone back and forth. So it was like a Tim Burton, like, you know what, I'm going to take another job because you guys don't seem like you're ready on this. That makes sense that he's like, no, I don't, $15 million isn't worth it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. He had an interesting 90s.
Yeah.
The Paper, you ever see The Paper?
I haven't.
Me neither. I feel like that's a good movie, though.
Yeah, it's about a newspaper, I think.
It's got your boy Randy Quaid.
Mm-hmm.
You are against the Star Killers, right?
The Star Killers?
Who does Randy Quaid claim is after him?
Oh, I don't know specifically, but yeah, it's like a group or whatever that's after him. Yeah.
He was in a lot of stuff. Multiplicity.
Yeah, Multiplicity is very
A
underrated
virtuoso
movie.
performance.
Yeah.
Although, like, problematic, like...
Yeah, there's one of him that's a copy of a copy that is like potentially a problematic performance, but
the great turn in Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown, such a good movie.
yeah, and I'm kind
I
of
was gonna say the best Tarantino movie. It's like that's a contrarian take.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that he's never been in anything else Quentin Tarantino's done, just because it's like, oh, that feels like he'd be like a guy that Tarantino would be like, yeah, I'm gonna put him in every movie, like at least in some role.
Tarantino was like casting Jackie Brown, right? And I see, wouldn't it be interesting if I took Mr. Mom, who's also Batman, and I made him Ray Nicolette?
Yeah. Yeah, but he does that with everybody.
Blow your fucking mind.
Yeah, but then put him in other things. Put him in Kill Bill.
Did you know also in the Elmore Leonard cinematic universe, the Soderbergh film Out of Sight, Michael Keaton makes an uncredited cameo as the same character, Ray Nicolette, that he played in Jackie Brown.
I didn't know that. I saw on his IMDb that he has an uncredited role in that movie, but I didn't know he's playing the same character. Yeah. It's interesting. It also kind of sucks. I was thinking about this recently because, it used to be so fun before all this multiverse stuff of that means it's the same universe. But now that, so many movies have multiverses and now they've established sometimes somebody looks like they're this guy, but they're actually from a slightly different version. It's then it's not fun.
Yeah.
Then now it's just confusing. Now it just feels like you're saying that about everything.
Now nothing means anything.
Yeah.
Things used to mean something.
Tim, the next year he was in Jack Frost.
Yeah.
The synopsis for this movie, for those who haven't seen it: a father who can't keep his promises, is killed in a car accident. 1 year later, he returns as a snowman who has the final chance to put things right with his son before he is gone forever.
Everybody shits all over this movie.
Comedy.
I don't know. That's standard fare for an 80s family comedy.
But this is 90s, Tim.
Oh, yeah. No. I meant to say 90s.
I don't know. It's still just a little dark that it's this dad was shitty and then he died. And then he came back as a snowman a year later, but only, for a limited time before he was melted by the spring.
Well, sounds a lot like Ghost Dad.
Yeah.
A movie that you own, you've never watched, you just wanted to support with royalties.
Yeah, that's why I have this pile of still sealed, unopened copies of Ghost Dad.
Did you know the thing about Jack Frost, right?
What about it?
Why the snowman looks like that?
Why he looks like Michael Keaton?
No, he doesn't look like Michael Keaton.
Oh, no. Oh, was it supposed to be somebody else?
George Clooney was cast. Dropped out at the last minute to do Batman and Robin.
Wow, ironic.
To replace essentially Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton came in last minute, but they had already designed.
Yeah, and probably started, especially in 98, it was we started rendering this, 18 months ago to get it out in time.
Then you look at
the Jack Frost himself, and he looks like the Clune. He's
a Clune.
Yeah,
it's a Clune.
Yeah, he does look like Clooney. I could see him. I could hear him. I could hear his voice coming out of that snowman. Huh? Aren't there contracts for this kind of stuff? Had Clooney just walk away? Is he on the hook for the rendering time?
Probably.
Yeah, they're look, before we hit render on this, you're in, right? You promise? Because we can't cancel the render and start over with a different face. I meant to mention earlier, Tim, when I was talking about all the confusion between his name being Michael Keaton Douglas and Michael J. Fox playing Alex P. Keaton and all that just to add on to that movie Night Shift.
Yeah.
Shelley Long plays a character named Belinda Keaton.
What?
How'd they even get the movie done? Keaton.
Yeah.
And she turns around. He forgets that's his last name.
Yeah.
It's oh boy, that's the last. I was looking for that guy to turn around, not you, Shelley Long.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they finished that movie, to be honest.
He had this. I guess this is maybe gonna bring us through the end because he talks about he won an Oscar for Birdman.
Yeah, no,
or Birdman won the Oscar.
He was nominated.
Yeah, but I think Birdman won Best Picture.
Yeah. Oh, you mean I call it the unexpected virtue of ignorance.
He it's interesting. I get it. In post interviews, he's talked about not making it sound like it's the Super Bowl, not interviews right after the movie aired, but later on that he was like, it's kind of mad. Like the marketing around that movie was around the idea of like it being my comeback movie. And I've been a working actor this whole time. And it's like, I get it because they're like trying to tie the movie to you. But also it's like looking at your IMDb, it's like you were in some real clunkers before Birdman came along.
He was in some real clunkers, but he was also Chick Hicks in Cars.
Well, that's the thing. He did Cars. He was Ken in Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also in Minions, apparently, at least one of the Minions movies. He couldn't do, this is the first I've ever heard of this. He couldn't do the voice of his character in Cars 3 because he was shooting the Spider-Man movie. The first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard somebody not be able to do a cartoon voice because of scheduling. Like it seems like that's
they couldn't clear
easy.
like an hour and a half on some Saturday morning.
Yeah, and also isn't it like we do these, like 2 years before we start animating it, so we have things to animate to, but maybe it just saved them a buck. But leading up to Birdman, he was in Clear History, the movie you just mentioned, RoboCop, Need for Speed.
RoboCop, the remake.
The remake, yeah. And then Birdman, and then the year after that, Spotlight. The year after that, The Founder. The year after that, Spider-Man Homecoming. So, like, that's a great run there.
I like that you added Spider-Man Homecoming as the prestigious.
That's a nice paycheck for him at the end of that. But like Birdman, Spotlight, The Founder, those are three like critically acclaimed great movies.
Right, but when you talked about Clear History, RoboCop, and Need for Speed, Clear History was a TV movie.
An HBO movie, though.
Yeah, it's an HBO movie, and like it was a Larry David movie with like John Hamm.
Oh, I'm not saying it
wasn't like
sound
it
good
wasn't
on paper. I'm just saying like people didn't like it.
People were fine with it. I think it was.
I
it did
never
as well
heard about
as
this movie again.
What other HBO movie have you heard about again?
Well, if we're talking miniseries, Barbarians at the Gate.
Uh-huh.
That was, I think, like their first miniseries.
And like that run was.
What do you mean? What HBO original movie were we talking about? We were just talking about The Late Shift earlier.
Yeah, I mean that's about as. I don't know. I watched Clear History the other day. I fell asleep. It's very bad. Yeah, like a week ago.
I've never seen it.
Because I was like, is this even still... Oh, also, I watched The Leisure Class a lot.
I've watched The Leisure Class again, but I haven't watched Clear History again.
Clear History happened at a time when...
This is like peak Larry David,
It was when, like... People thought maybe Curb was over. It's when he took that long break.
Yeah, and like, he wants to do new stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do a Woody Allen movie. Oh, that's going to be so good.
Oh, God, that movie was the worst.
Yeah.
But what you cited...
I saw. I think I turned that off. I couldn't get through it.
Clear History, RoboCop, Need for Speed. That was just... That was 2013 and 2014.
Oh, I had the years wrong then. I apologize.
And like Birdman was also 2014.
Tim, I apologize.
But
I'm so sorry.
But like
I said Birdman was 2014.
I know. But what I'm saying is like you were making it seem like he was in this like years long. He works a lot. Like leading up to that, he had done The Other Guys, which he was great and hilarious in. He had done Toy Story 3, which he was good in, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this is nothing great.
Like I said, I totally get why it annoys him, but I also get why they were like, "Oh, this is brilliant marketing to play it this way."
Founder's such a good movie.
The Founder's a great movie.
He said he was dog shit in Dumbo. I thought he was pretty good in Dumbo.
You know what?
Bad movie.
So he's worked with Danny DeVito at least 3 times that I saw.
Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm. Dumbo. And then I think Danny DeVito was in Late Shift maybe or Night Shift rather. He was in one of the movies that I watched, or maybe no, I don't think it was Touch and Go. But he was in one of the other trailers I watched for another early movie that he did.
Okay.
I just thought that was cool. I was like, these two guys good together.
I like Danny
and
DeVito.
watching the clip of a scene with him and Danny DeVito and Dumbo made me think, why haven't I watched Dumbo?
Because it's
Michael,
not good.
Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito in it.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I watched it on a plane, and I was still like, man, I wish I just watched The Intern again.
He was recently in the deleted Batgirl movie.
Yeah.
Playing Batman, which he was recently asked about, and he was like, those directors were nice guys. Yeah, that was fun. Nice check. And which is just like a great, like, yeah, it's a job.
Yeah.
Like it sucks that it sucks that it didn't come out, and that people worked hard on it, but like, let's not pretend this was the fucking Sistine Chapel.
Mm.
Everybody's checks still got cashed, and the movie probably would have sucked. I can't imagine how much money, because that was a big thing about that movie being canceled, that they said it looked like shit, but it cost like $100 million. And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if like 20 of that was to him for a few days of shooting. Just some like one of those situations where his agent calls and they're like, they want you in Batgirl. And he's like, yeah, all right, 20 million. And they call back like, they said yes. And he's like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah. He's like, spends a lot of time in Montana.
Yeah, he's got a ranch there. He's like an environment guy.
Yeah.
He likes it, the environment.
Yeah, but like everybody says, like a lot of people get consumed with like, and his whole thing is like, he's like, I was in some shitty movies. There were rough patches where like I wasn't casting a lot of stuff, or I was only doing shitty movies, and I was doing really crappy work myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, and I just never got desperate.
Yeah.
It's like, you can smell desperation. It's like, say what you will about me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never got desperate for anything. And that's why I've been able to, like, pull out of any slumps or whatever. It's just like, like, we didn't even mention Spotlight.
Yeah.
Spotlight, like,
I never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it either.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
my whole family went to see it on like a couple days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I had a stomach bug.
Oh.
Day after Christmas, Boxing Day, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Stomach bug. I slept.
Wow. I mean, it's available on VOD. You could watch it now.
Dope Sick. I want to watch, but I can't. Like, I read the book.
Yeah, he plays like a doctor that's addicted.
Yeah.
That's what he was in a movie in the 80s called Clean and Sober, which was also like his like dramatic turn, where he played an addict. I think like a realtor who was an addict.
Yeah. In Knox Goes Away, Tom, you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is when he was after my own heart.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, it's a hitman movie. He's like, the ironic thing is like, those aren't my types of movies. He's like, I think we are way too flippant about guns in movies and stuff. And he's like, when people get killed in these action movies, like, there are real lives that get killed by guns. And that's always my thing with John Wick. Like, all of our friends are like, yeah, it's like, let's celebrate the gun violence movie. But he's like, I did it because like I wanted to see if I could play a guy who mentally deteriorated in 35 days or whatever.
Yeah.
That just seems like it hits all the things that I don't like.
First off, John Wick only kills bad guys. So
you showed me a thing where he shot someone in the stomach and the head and then the stomach again.
Yeah, do you know what that guy did?
What did he do?
Oh, boy.
He was at a place. He was at a place that John Wick walked
they're
into.
all very, very bad people. And the fact that you're here saying maybe John Wick shouldn't have killed him, it's honestly kind of sick. Kind of disgusting. It's left a bad taste in my mouth. So did he do the basically can I go the the old or geezer pleaser route? Are you saying that's what he was saying? Like should I start doing these types of movies where you're saying because he plays a hitman who's riddled with dementia.
Yeah.
And that was more what was interesting to him.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I feel like that movie was kind of marketed a little bit like a John Wick or a Nobody.
Yeah.
Like when
See, I didn't like Nobody for the same reason.
with just kind of like a string of like people that were like, oh, can I be an action hero now? No, no. All right.
I don't know. John Wick worked. I think they're making a sequel to Nobody. Everybody loved Nobody.
Yeah, they're making a sequel to Nobody.
Yeah.
They're making at least one more John Wick and like a million different spin-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That won't have diminishing returns if Keanu Reeves isn't in it.
I mean, they've already had one spin-off that I didn't even see with Mel Gibson in it. That like, yeah, everybody's like, eh. And then maybe they already filmed a spinoff with Ana de Armas as like a female John Wick. But again, it's like, kind of the guy whose name is in the title's the draw here.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com.
I got a good Michael Keaton question for you after the plugs. TCGTE.com.
You can find all our links and everything, all our social media, our Discord, our subreddit, and you can check out patreon.com/complete guide for Books to Podcast, the only podcast about books. Tim, where are we reading, or where are you reading this week?
Player Piano, the very book I was on my way to go to before I helped out a tween in need.
A struggling tween. So
by Kurt Vonnegut.
Sheet music you're going to be reading?
Tom, it's a book that I think thematically we're going to be at odds about. It's written in 1952, published in 1952, about the pervasiveness.
So an early Vonnegut.
The first Vonnegut novel.
Wow.
We'll talk more about that. But how technology replacing things that humans do might not be the best path for humanity.
Wow. Where's Kurt Vonnegut now?
Dead and buried. See
where that got him? He didn't get offered.
And guess what? Before he died, he was an old guy, too.
Cybernetic upgrade. You can hear that. Patreon.com/complete guide. The first episode of that is up. And when you sign up, you get all the old episodes of Books of Podcast. Patreon.com/complete guide. Tim, what's your question about Michael Douglas Keaton or Keaton Douglas?
Do you think that's his Instagram handle, Michael Keaton Douglas?
Oh, okay.
And he posts the most MSNBC brained lib takes.
Yeah. Michael Keaton Douglas makes more sense.
Yeah.
But like I said, in that video, he said Michael Douglas Keaton.
But
also, people are going to think he got married to Michael Douglas.
Yeah, there's worse things in the world.
But then what happened to Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Maybe they're a throuple.
Wow. There are worse places to end up.
Appealing to Gen Z.
Yeah.
By being a part of a throuple.
Yeah. Or to people who like oral sex from Michael Douglas.
He swore off it. It almost killed him. Do you think this is? I don't even know. Do you think I'm far off by thinking one reason I revere Michael Keaton Douglas is that I could see him participating, not directly, but on the sidelines of a jackass stunt in one of the movies.
Not that he's done it, but that he would be game.
When they do not one of the real gross out ones where it's something silly and they pan over and Luke Wilson is there laughing it up with the boys, or Mike Judge is there laughing it up with the boys or whatever. Yeah. I think Michael Keaton, if it panned over and standing next to Steve-O while Johnny Knoxville got was in a pen with a bull or something, and Michael Keaton just oh, you'd be oh yeah, that's
it. Yeah. I mean, I wish that were true.
It might be.
Yeah. He also seems like the kind of guy that would like stick around for a little of that and then to be like, all right, guys, I got to go and just like, clap somebody on the back, put on sunglasses and walk away.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What a cool guy.
What a cool guy. Can you tell I just watched the three Jackass movies last night?
That was a HeadGum podcast.